Good evening, everybody. Um, we are just a little before the actual stream, but since I have had a few requests about showing some live action on ground, um, I thought I might just start out with this. So, if you're interested, this will probably not make it into the actual live stream I intend on doing later on. So, I'll just mute myself over there. And this is just a ground tour of all the ground STF's elite ones. It's nothing too special. We are on Bug Hunt Elite right now. And if you don't know those missions yet, I'll try to talk you through this a little, show what it looks like. Basically, you just start out running off that cliff, and you have to escort an Vanavir who's following you around, and you have to just kill all the little bugs. Once you have cleared out all of them, you have the NPC come and blown up the next obstacle in your way. This phase repeats a few times with different spawns for the bugs, but that is nothing that needs too much explanation, I guess. Basically. So, for ground, as you always want to watch out for, try to optimize your tactical initiative so you use them one after another, not at the same time, as they do not stack in any way. So everyone has his cooldowns back up. Okay. We're just taking out the enemies before the third wall. The spawn points of the bugs are identical every single time. So the engineers, if they really know what they are doing, can just deploy mines at their spawns. It's not really necessary. You can also just shoot them with tactical captains. Around, usually you see a lot of engineers, like you actually see a lot of tacticals, some engineers, and you don't actually see that many size. So try not, or if you have any of the two, like tech and engineer, you're good off with those. Okay, so the next one is where we need to jump down here. Usually you want to wait for your NPC to catch up with you, as he sometimes bugs out on top. If he gets into combat with the ones at the bottom, he just targets them but cannot reach them, and therefore will just get stuck on top, which gets a problem later on when he has to blow up this hole in the ground. That just costs you a lot of time, as he then has to the game has to realize that he's not there. Yeah, then it takes some time for him to respawn down below and do this thing. You just don't gain too much out of jumping down early. Good evening, everybody on the stream. We are currently at 8 viewers. If you have any questions during the stream, this is sort of a pre-stream now. I'm showing just a ground tour. So, yeah, if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'll try to catch them and answer them as soon as I can. So after he blew the next tunnel up, we have to protect him down here. If you are an engineer, put a covering shield behind him. So when you stand here like this, you just put a covering shield in front of you, so he cannot get attacked by the bugs, and that highly speeds up this encounter, as if he gets attacked, it interrupts his progress bar by quite a lot. Okay, so once again, all identical spawn points. These guys in the front here, you will usually see an engineer blowing them up because they just know when they will spawn. That's okay though. It helps the team. You, however, do not usually want more than 1 or 2 maximum engineers, because then there's not enough tactical initiatives for ground, so the cooldowns don't get reset often enough, or reduced, I should say, and they don't really benefit from, they can only blow up one group, so there's no real point to having two. Once the group is dead, there's nothing else for the second engineer to blow up. Okay, so once that bridge thing is cleared, jump down to the fight of the spawn mother. It has seen a revamp of its HP. It got quite increased, so don't go suicide here. Use your tactical escorts something, and make sure that you don't aggro all of them at the same time. That usually is the quickest route to get killed. It is common to just leave once the spawn mother is dead. So, people like to say thank you after the match and everything. Problem is, the enemies in this will still shoot at you. So, since not everyone enjoys dying too much, you just click leave now and you're done with this. Good evening, Maytalk Eagle. Okay. We do currently have the bonus marks event, so I think you get 50% increase off of these elite queues. So we just got 98 with the 5 bonus of elite marks that you usually get. So I think it's like 60 when you normally do it. Okay, we're up for defend Romulan Station Elite, or defend Rihu Station something. However you read this out. That one has 3 total phases. You start out with so you start out with a phase where you have to run around and shoot small little devices. You have to catch 6 of them to progress to the next phase. You have, I think, 4 minutes time to do it. That is nothing too special once you get to know where they will spawn, because they just always spawn in the same place. They only have a chance though, so there are way more spawns possible once than yeah, no, Maytalk. I still got your mail, so we'll definitely catch you both later. Let me type something to chat. So, yeah, so you have to first catch the little devices. After that, you have to free 6 engineers that will always spawn at the same spots. And there's basically 2 predefined ways that you can approach that, that you can run. Usually you will just split up in this, even though it is elite. You don't need that many people to clean out one of the waves. So, when you first spawn, you get into this room. You have this blinking over there. You don't need to do anything about that though. Just go to the right to the tunnel that you will have to interact with in 30 seconds to get to the deck where the action is going. This is sort of the preparation time. Okay. J is on. We have everyone that should be in here. I am not entirely sure. Okay, so now we interact with it after it gets dark. Exit damage control. So now we have these 2 doors, and to the right we have the major, or the biggest room. That one is not too much of a concern. That one is for the last phase, basically. So up top here, you shoot one of those Alachi devices. They have a progress bar, and we already managed to get all 6. So, it goes pretty quickly. Good evening, the real Dave Fu. Okay, so second phase, these two are the major doors that you're looking for. I usually take the one in the rear here. You just sprint over to where they are. The other one basically looks mirrored, like there are some different objects there, but the whole concept is the same. You just make them dead, like you obliterate them. Just put in all your cooldowns and kill it. Then you interact with the guy to save him, and this gives you the progress of 6 now, as the others already have 1 too. Don't shoot those little spiders. You don't really want them crawling up your neck. That is not cool. So this one is now where you don't actually have all of your cities, but with the tactical initiative after the first, you are basically in good shape now. Interacting with this guy, getting us to 5. These people apparently decided to invert way, and that is number 6. So here would have been the last guy, and it's basically mirrored for the other side. It looks from the blueprint of it, it looks identical. Just has some different visuals to it. Okay, and now we go to the right, where the chief of this operation is, the Predator. We once again just go in here, make everything that as good as we can, and that is the end of them. And we interact with the device over here to get the last of the optionals here. So this is defend the Romulan Station Elite. And you can also get Romulan marks if you want for this. Okay. I don't actually know if I will make this a YouTube version, to be honest with you. You can always rewatch this on Twitch. And apparently there are some of the devs that really like my YouTube, and for some reason it gets how shall I call it? They like adjusting things that I previously showed on my YouTube, so there might be something to look out for. Good evening, Cookie. And we are already at a decent amount of viewers. That is amazing. So I didn't really catch what we're going into. He told me to put on the comply here. And I apparently need to log into Twitch because somehow it beat me. No idea how it did that. Which also makes me reconnect to the stream chat in case you're wondering why I'm ignoring you. Okay. NPC, cute for a car prime self-destructive tendencies, elite. So this one is a little special. Like, it took us some time to actually get the strategy down for this properly, and really the Delta Tier 5 thing really helps here, the concussive tachyon emission. So basically what happens is you have a core in the middle of the room to defend. You have 4 consoles showing the 4 flanks, and one person sits on each, and you have someone running around helping out, basically. Usually that would be the engineer, if you have one, as he does not really do much range damage. He wants to deploy his mines and get into there, put his covering shield around the computer core, and put on some quantum mortars. These are the consoles for the different directions of the room. And you just basically choose one, whatever you like, and sit down there to make sure that your team knows where you will be. So we are still waiting for a few people to get over here. he might not actually have an AV suit. So we have Maytok Eagle. By the way, I was able to get an idea of my DPS with my build thanks to Cookie. I pulled 14k DPS in ISA this morning. 14k is pretty good, I guess. For the random run, that's actually quite decent. Marcus1566 saying, hey, Cookie Cupcakes. Hi Marcus, hey. Okay, so everyone is getting acquainted, that is always nice to see. So we have everyone sitting on a flank and someone running around. Basically what you want to do is always rotate your tactical initiatives, as it reduces the cooldowns of all your abilities outside of tactical initiative. And what that does is it helps you with your security escorts. You see how the cooldown turned to 40 seconds only, and that just enables me to call in security escorts all the time basically. And if you do not drop comment, they don't go away unless they die. So if you reach later waves here, you can easily have quite an army of security escorts, and that really helps out later when you get more numerous enemies. Okay, cool. You just need to make sure that you don't drop comment, otherwise they will just go home and say, yeah, there's nothing to do here. So we get the next ones. When the wave spawns, you see how just so many of these guys warp in or jump in from those builds things. That is always a good spot to use your tactical initiative. Not tactical initiative, but the attack on a mission. That is what I meant to say. As that is quite a strong AoE thing, and when you have multiple, it actually can eradicate all your enemies. So that is really helpful. Okay. You can help out on other flanks. Usually you shouldn't move out of your way too far to do it though, just to make sure that always your flank is covered, like that is your first priority. Okay, so and some more security escorts. Oh. I'll just use my... Oh, I still won't. Okay, now it's time for my tactical initiative, I guess, so I'll just put it in there. Next wave is starting. You have a total of 5 waves, each lasting a minute, and every single new wave you get a lot of enemies spawning. So try to have your attack on a mission ready for that. And then you just sit here and defend your side. Okay. Waiting for some more enemies to pop up. I'm not quite sure where he's wandering, but I guess he just likes running around. Okay. Have the next wave in 10 seconds, so I save my major cooldowns for this. For wave 5, you can theoretically even talk with your team about major cooldowns like the precision offensive of the intel tree or something. Usually what you do is whenever you use your tactical initiative, you also use your strike team, which is a team-wide damage increase, and that's how you basically cycle through them. So don't stack those major abilities, just use them one after another so everyone gets all the buffs. Why no bind on 2? 2 is actually bound to the sniper shot. On ground, as these abilities have such short cooldowns, it is theoretically better to use everything on its own. Practically, you don't have anything that really kills you, like distribute shields or anything. So you can get away with using what you rotate anyways in a somewhat bigger bind, but that is nothing you want to do for space. Like, this is working on ground only. My attack initiative. As you see, we have a lot of enemies now for wave 5, and I actually got killed by the AoE thing. You have to watch out with adrenaline release as it decreases your resistances by quite a lot. And if you're not focused on what you're doing, they can actually kill you while you have that one up. Is it possible to do bug hunt with Lieutenant Vanderveer planning all 4 charges at the end? I have never tried that, and I suspect it won't be possible, just because it takes too much time. Like, you have this optional timer, and if you try to match that, you will probably run out of time. I don't know. Never tried it, not worth it apparently. So we had a pretty horrible run on this, but we still made it, so after they reworked everything, it's really quite possible to do this. What you want to do is rotate through your tactical initiatives, use your tachyon emission for each next wave, for the beginning of big waves basically, and then you're in pretty good shape. What is the massive wave that you just did? That is the Tier 5 Delta Reputation Concussive Tachyon emission. You have to slot it at the traits Active Reputation, and it looks like this. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool actually, and it does a lot of damage. We had another one, yeah. So this is the thing in the middle, the computer core that you have to defend. Once it drops below 50%, you lose the mission. And this is how you can kill teammates. Okay. Next up on the next one. Alright. So yeah, ground actually right now lags way less than space for me. So we have been playing grounds a lot lately. I'm still tier 3 with Undine and Delta Reputation. Delta Reputation has a big impact. The tier 5 for ground is really strong. For the Undine, I like to use the 2-piece of that, the Counter Command Personal Shield and the Counter Command Biomolecular Phaser or Disruptor Rifle. That does not matter. You get 5% crit H for that. Yeah. They are actually pretty good. Nukara Prime Transdimensional Tactics up next. For that you also need a EV suit, as it has this toxic atmosphere down on that planet. You have the big boss on top of his podest thing. He has basically 2 intermissions in between. So when you get him to like 75%, he goes away in a portal and spawns a lot of portals around him, which you have to all close. Then he respawns. You can kill him to I think 50%. Then he goes through his portal again. You kill another set of portals, and then you can finally take him out. So this is a nice crater that he has here, with all those puddles of some liquid, which is actually dealing damage to you. The optional is don't take damage from it, but that usually not happens, so it's okay into it here. And as you see here, you actually take damage. It's not too bad at first, but those guys that come with him through his portals, they can web you and drag you towards them. And while they do that, you're disabled. So that actually is not too cool if they do that and pull you into the liquid here, like he did with my security escort just about now. He also spawns these crystals that deal AoE damage. You just want to go out, don't send in their AoE thing. So as you can see here now, we have him at like 75%. He goes away. You get all those portals spawning. We'll just now see a Hollow killing them all almost. Not yet. Still not yet. And I'll also throw mine. So we deal just massive AoE damage to take those portals out, which will make him come back. Always make sure to use your security escorts. They really help out as they get a lot of fire off of you. So he is still at his 75%, so we further kill him a little here. Down to about 50 is what we're looking for. When he turns friend again with his bluish name, then that is how you know. About now, he goes away and those portals spawn again. So they all spawn those trappers, and as you can see here now, he webs me and drags me into this liquid thing, right? That is, when you have too many of them doing that, it can actually like disable almost your whole team. That's why you want all these security escorts, because it just minimizes the chances for him or for them dragging several people here. Have they not yet finished that thing in the back there? Let's see what happens. You're also on a timer, but that one usually isn't a big deal. So now the last wave. He not only is here now, but he will also spawn those portals now. And if you don't have the damage to really kill everything in time, you used to have someone to clear the portals, which is a strategy for that is about a year old or two, from times when you didn't have the Delta Tachyon on a mission. These days, just basically focus fire him and use your Delta mission to kill them. Okay, that's it for transdimensional tactics. Okay, counter command better than Omega. You can't really generalize here. Counter command is better for offensive, while the Omega one is defensive. It really depends on the team that you run with. For me, it feels, when we do our runs with a pre-made team, it feels like it's easier to go for a strong offense than a good defense. So, hey, we have all those cats around us. Amazing. And they are barely clothed. What do you think the AP top is gonna be like? Is it available on Triple? Anyone tested it? I think someone tested it. That is more of a torpedo person. He didn't like it, so we still have hopes for the energy damage builds. It might be good, but I personally don't think any of the I don't think anyone really has yet, so I'm still waiting to get mine. We will do a few of those CCAs later, because I delayed my daily round of those so much that I don't have them yet. Rank Track, good evening. Acid pools, whatever you call them. They look pretty liquid to me, might be also an acid. Well, they deal damage, so whatever. I purposely try not to wear clothes on my cats, because cats don't wear clothes. Some do, but usually they are forced into it. That is very true. Okay, Borg into the Hive Elite. This one is called. You have a few stages in this one, basically. The first room starts out with these two tactical drones that you have to kill. They usually don't pose too much of a threat. And then you have this symmetrical layout of the room. It is you have in every of the corners one of those alcove things. You have to clear them all to progress to the next room. So you interact with the console, which releases the drones, and when you kill them, you're done with that thing, basically. You have to watch out for the green fields on the floor. When you step into them, they will deal ridiculous amounts of electric damage to you, and you just die. The optional is not to step into it, and we just had someone depict clearly how you die by doing or trying out to sit into them, so you don't survive. Okay. They have engaged the one over there. Help them out killing them. You don't need to hold back on cooldowns here. Usually with enough tactical initiatives, shouldn't be too big a deal to get most of it back anyways. And these drones actually can kill you. Like, it's not a good idea to engage multiple consoles at once. That is the quickest route of failing this mission. When everyone is dead at the same time in an elite queue on ground, you just fail the mission. I think it's the same for space. I'm not overly sure because we don't usually die all at the same time there. So that's it for these guys. We'll clear out the last of the four corners on the outer ring, and then we also have the inner ring here looking the same. Okay, so you just use all of your cooldowns basically, wait for them to come out, and then hit them with all you've got. And okay. Sniper shot usually doesn't go even off. He's trying to re-show how you die when sitting in it. Okay, that worked pretty well. Cats don't wear clothes. Okay, so I hope that is true. Like, I know that people that force their animals into clothes, like dogs and cats, they don't actually enjoy that. I think they get stressed out over it somehow. Like, there are some with strange psychological behavior, if you so will. So yeah, I wouldn't do that to my cat too. So yeah. Okay, so someone in the chat knows that if you fail, that you fail if all of your team die in space. How do you know that? I don't actually mean that question. Now this is the difficult part. When you use that console, the ground below can become an active field, and you usually have to interrupt your interaction with the console. If you try to push it too much or get this knockback into a green field, there's a high chance for you dying, and the few seconds usually aren't worth it. If you feel super awesome, you can also do special elite tactics and jump on top of this thing. But if you miss your jump, you're dead, so yeah, there's nothing good down there. If you die, that can happen, and you cannot get picked up by someone in your team. He's trying to show the jumping part here. Actually made it on spot up there. So if you die here, which is not entirely impossible, and no one can pick you up, and you hit the respawn button, you will end up behind one of these force fields, either to the left or to the right of this room. You cannot interact with the console on the inside there yet. Someone has to go to the outside, use this console to release the locks of it, basically. Does he actually have a cat? I don't know who you're talking about. Wait, you have a cat, right? No, I don't have a cat. Calm down, it's alright. Just if I had one, I wouldn't do it. It's gonna be alright. Calm down. I have had it happen to me. That is how I know it. Yeah, I figured, but I didn't want to point a finger at you. But if you do it on your own, that's fine. You are doing so much damage. One would think you are using space weapons on the ground. Just earlier I had my personal record of a crit with the TR sniper shot dealing like 9,800 damage. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So So they are now trying to kill me, basically, with these things at the top of the room. It puts these fields under you, and then it deals damage like that, okay? You can just run out of there, and you're fine. So what I didn't really say yet is, when you have cleared all the things, the force field drops, you get into the next room up top, interact with the thing in the middle, it does its progress bar at half of it, which is just about now, which is why I'm buffing up. You have a few drones spawn here that try to defend the room. You just make sure to take them all out without, you know, dying too much, as they can deal pretty good damage. Someone already died. That is not perfect, but if... yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. I'll just pick them up. At halfway, you have these drones spawn. Engineers can really help you because they also spawn always in the same place, so you can just prepare a couple of mines for them. And once the progress bar is up, you draw the force field over here drops, and you can just run into the next room. I have no idea what they are waiting for. They probably stood at the wrong force field. Amazing. I thought I'm the one distracted. In this room you have a lot of those lesser drones, like they are really weak. You don't usually want to use too much stuff here. You can use the tactical initiative while in the next video cutscene to get all of your cooldowns back, which is why you can put in stuff here, but you don't actually need to, like this is pushing damage. Okay, once they are all dead, this force field drops and you progress to the final room of this instance. You get now this beautiful cutscene where she talks to you. You have now a 3-stage encounter basically again. You have the queen. Well, first you have a few drones which you kill, then you have the queen. She goes back away at, I think, 75-50%. Spawns 2 sets of drones, one's on the right, one's on the left, and then in a second spawn in the middle of these fields. The first spawn is always in the back there, the second spawn is in the middle of these plates on the ground. And I would really appreciate if my team would stop dying. Wow. We're trying to make it look difficult so you guys don't underestimate how difficult this is. The Hive Elite is probably the most difficult of the Ground Elite STFs, and you shouldn't go in unprepared. So once we have taken out those drones, the Queen becomes targetable and engages us. We just shoot her, make sure to put on our security escorts. We have a tactical initiative going, which reduces our cooldowns. So now we have the drones over here spawning. Second spawn will be in the forward thing. We also have identical looking spawns on the left. And now here we go for the second wave. You usually want to wait with your Delta AoE thing to make sure that both of these spawns have happened, so you actually hit all of them and not just a few. And I see you. Calm down. I can't talk like this and read at the same time while I'm playing. Okay. I hope you are nice to each other, and I'll read later what you wrote there. Okay, so now the War Queen engages us again. We just once again shoot her, and once she is like this, immune again, going back, we have this spawn of drones in the back here, and we have one more in the middle-ish thing like this, which is now the time when you want to use your Delta Tachyon mission. And you have this big thing, the Elite Tactical Assimilated gone in the middle. We are really trying to make this look different, folks, and I died. If you fail this, it's not too horrible, you just need someone to respawn in time. So now not everyone is dead, but he is inside one of those fields and he will get fried sorta soon. So we just press respawn, which makes us respawn out of that room. And we can just redo it. This is basically how you prevent failing the mission. Someone has to respawn and sacrifice his life, and then everyone else can respawn. What happens is, if you the first one to respawn. You don't respawn anywhere serious, like as in the first room, you spawn behind a force field. In this final stage now, you spawn in one of these 4 chambers on the far side. Someone has to run to you and release you again. But if everyone on your team is dead, the floor will get charged with electricity and killing you. So that is why someone needs to respawn out of that room. Trying to find out what happened there. Okay, so yeah. When you have finished the part that we just had where we decided to fail to make it look difficult and show you how you save yourself, you see what I'm doing, right? Then basically the queen engages again and you can just kill her twice more, and then you have won the mission. So that is basically all to it. If you are at that stage, that is basically the most difficult one. So it is basically one when you have mastered the second transition with spawning drones there. We have 2 tactical initiatives running at the same time. I think we are up to 3 now. That is not optimal, but I'm not on TeamSpeak and I hope they are. Okay. So the ball queen becomes immune. We have the spawn in the back, we have the spawn in the middle. You want to use your stuff and AoE them all. Just like this. Okay. It is really important to use your buffs before using the Tachyon mission. And I'll use my tactical initiative to make sure that I have one for the second intermission there later on. It's really important to use your major cooldowns like the targeting optics and all that stuff before you hit your Tachyon mission and other major damaging things to make sure that you deal optimal damage. It's basically like space a little, that you want to maximize the uptime of good buffs to maximize your damage. So we are trying to not put this green thing in the middle and kill everyone. So I'll just use my AoE here, take out most of these drones hopefully. We really should stop dying like this. It's getting ridiculous, folks. Okay. We are running, I think, with at least one person that is not that experienced here. That is why it's looking a little strange. Okay, so we have mastered the second transition. The ball queen will engage again, and at this point it's basically won. Like the next upcoming waves, she does her stuff on one single target, but there's basically no way she can take out all the targets. Just make sure you don't stand in the green thing, and yeah, try to kill her as soon as you can. Okay, so we'll just use our buttons here and sure. Okay, now she dies. We have this intermission video where she says you can't defeat her, and I don't really know what happens now, but she is just there again, and you shoot her once more. Okay. So that's it for Hive Ground Elite. It is probably the most difficult one that you can do. Alright. So we have the Undine Infiltration left, and we could do another Defend Romulan Station to show off the other way where you can go. But okay, so let me do some recapping on chat here. Lots of pretty flowers patterns, I think. Could you please show me you kit modules when you're done? Okay, so this is my kit. I'm using Motivation, Ambush, Rally Cry, Pulveron, Bombardment, and Photon Grenade. You might want to take a screenshot now, if you want to save it. Motivation is a strong team buff to increase everyone's damage. ambush increases your next attack by 150%. That one's pretty vital to sniper shot and stuff like that, like all your major single target things. That one is amazing. Rally Cry is a good damage increase with 7% crit chance for your team, and good heal, crit severity in it, damage resistance, basically all you need. Photon Bombardment is what they gave us with the latest lockbox. That almost looks like the engineering bombardment thing, like Orbital Strike, I think it's called. That one is really quite nice, I like it. And the Photon Grenade is something that you can argue about. People like the Plasma Grenade as well. You get a very good one from the Embassy. I just didn't get around to buying one because I don't need one. I don't really throw grenades that much lately. And thanks for the party you guys are throwing here. Okay, so let's continue. How do you make your text change colors? Type in /me. Okay, someone explain it? Yes, I am. D10K. Also use Combat Squad Crit H Delta Kit. Which Delta Kit am I using? I use Combat Grenade Crit H. Yeah. Either of those is fine. Just make sure not to get the Crit D one, I think. I think the Crit D one is not itemized perfectly. How do you get that DPS meter to show up? That is Omega Shocker's Combat Log Reader, and on the lower left you have this mini button, and that brings up that window. Okay. Someone explained that one too. I did fail. Yeah, we wanted to make it look a little more difficult. Surely that is what happened. It's based on your DPS max, or like once you get over 15 or 30k, you get the invite to the channel. Yeah. So that is basically the concept of the DPS channels these days. You have, however, to maintain the channel standard. Like if you do a 10k run, you need to bring in a tune that does 10k. And if you know that you can't do it, don't join a run. Like, you know, like some common sense there. Are you in game? In a sec. We're gonna dress you up. Okay, that is a little strange. I am in 30k but not in 10k. That is strange. Let me tell you. You should always receive all the invites. Or should have at least received one by the internal list. If you have ongoing issues for a longer period of time, try to hit an admin and try to sort it out. I practically don't do ground, and that is true for most of the players in this game right now. And that's such a shame. I mean, they put all this in, and they put in quite some work. I personally actually like the ground ones. Okay, so on the infiltration, you have two phases. You have to first do this talking to the civilians, and when you interact with the clues, the glowish things, then talk to him and say you have discrepancies in your files. You get to this message where it says, based on your suspect's answers, you're somewhat certain he is not Undine. And this message will always be true, like I have never seen it fail. You can also memorize what they say, or you can just go with what your character says. So when we're somewhat certain he's not Undine, we can just clear him, we don't have to quarantine him, and we manage to do the right thing. Once we have properly talked to all the civilians here, we get two things, possibly. We get the AWP defense, which is up top here, in this yellowish circle. You have a few of the Undine attack an NPC there that you have to defend. He's called the AWP Priest, or something like that. When they kill him, you fail the mission, so you really need to defend him. An engineer can come in very handy there, just blocking off the door with a good covering shield, buying you a lot of time. So, how can I help you? This won't take long. Okay, next question. Okay, next question. Might be some discrepancies. we are almost certain she is an Undine, so let's just quarantine her. And that worked too. This one on top here, he is the only one that is somehow bugged. I don't really know how they did it to him, but when you interact with the clues, you miss one. Like, for some reason, there are not enough clues here. I don't know how they really did it. Talk to him and do this thing. We might get into trouble because I don't think I know all the answers to them. Okay, let's see if we get this thing. Oh, okay. You suspect he is an Undine. Okay, guess we quarantine him then. Okay, that was right. God, I hate this guy. He's like the only one that is not like the rest of them. Okay. You can also just read the tooltips. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is like the super cheap way of doing it. You can also just read the tooltips, and they are usually pretty obvious. But usually we are talking on the TeamSpeak and doing something else, watching TV, or something along the lines, and don't pay too much attention to it. So this is the easiest way. So when we have successfully defended the Orc Priest over here, talk to all the people. He is the Orc Priest here. He is not allowed to die. You have the Undine spawn all around him. Then you go to this crowd here in the middle, and you interact and get the Infiltration Master. You shoot him to 75%, then he decides to go immune and runs off. You have to follow him around, and then he goes into the tunnels, and that gets you to the second phase of the mission, which gives me some time. You know what you guys said. There's a third one in a side room. Okay, I didn't know that. I always thought they only had two. Interesting. I don't really do ground, or I didn't do ground that much too. I'm just about learning how to do these two, and I know that the guys that really appreciate ground all the time, they just know what the answers are for some reason. But yeah, that is how I do it. So we just now follow him around. Okay. I'm pretty sure the questions and answers are always random. I think there are only two possibilities actually. Like, it will either go the route where he is an Undine or the one where he isn't. But the answers will always be the same. There's so much detail to this game, but not enough training. Yeah. The game is not really explaining itself very well, and most of the videos on YouTube, for some reason, really aren't good at teaching you. Which is why we are doing this live stream and this channel thing, you know, help people mostly. And it is about finding people that try to better themselves and try to be competitive in the gameplay sense. If you enjoy trying to get better, that is what you're looking for. If you don't really care, you know, you can just go park and do whatever you want in normal and advanced queues, I guess. But if you try to do Hive Space Elite now, where you don't actually get a proper reward for, it is freaking difficult, and you need people that really try to play good. In a sense of try to killing the enemies and surviving it. Okay. Problem with parks, so random. Yeah, they just F through that part of the mission, and you run into trouble when someone Fs the wrong message. Okay. So the second phase is basically you just follow this tunnel, always interact in the green thing and kill the Undine. It's really not much of strategy, it's about using your abilities and killing them properly, and don't running ahead too far because you always have to interact. You can only do that out of combat. So we'll just kill him here, then we can progress to the final boss of the instance. Trying to drop combat. Take some time, now we can interact like this, and then we run ahead. The way is now cleared, jumping down here and killing the infiltration master. However, he doesn't really like to be killed, so he decides to hide under his bubble for a little time and call in some reinforcements. So he also puts this patch on the ground where I don't want to stand, and here we have his reinforcements, just AoEing them, and then shooting. And once all of them are dead, the boss becomes attackable again. I think we are already waiting for it. And once he is dead, you have successfully completed Undine Infiltration Elite. Okay, cool. I'm currently choosing Fleet Marks just because there's no win scenario anymore, and I'm somewhat dry on Fleet Marks. And we'll do another Defend Romulan Station Elite. Show the other way too. I want to play a match with you on Time Cookie. Okay. I find that it's somewhat random in what it chooses. Completely, for example, I always get the guy at the gate clear. I think he is the one that always is the same. I'll friend you when I'm on. I actually said hi the other day, sort of. Okay. Don't really know what's going on. Then that's okay. I think I need to try and work on my DPS for ground as well, but at the moment I am wanting to get my space DPS up. I mean, it is basically two things to the game, right? It's ground and space. They don't really get into contact much lately. Like when first they released the STS and infected at the space and the ground part as one, and you had to actually run through all of it. People were playing grounds a lot more. I guess it's because you can't really fly the Enterprise on ground. Which is quite a good reason for. I personally perfectly understand that, but the ground part is not that bad when you get into it. It has a pretty high entry level. Like when you actually have no idea what you're doing, it will be quite horrible. But once you know what's going on, it's actually quite enjoyable. Turning off accommodations at the starbase. I haven't done that in ages. I might have to do that. Guys don't actually have to follow me around. So, have you guys gotten a Jem'Hadar strike ship yet? So once again, we just run straight to the right here to make sure that no one thinks us a noob, because when you see someone spawning here, running to this console over here because he wants to interact and get a flashlight, you just know that he has never been in here before. That is the quickest way of knowing. I want to test out my new ground tune, but she's still level 57. Yeah, that is really what I find very strange. Like when you play an evening of grounds, you don't really gain experience for it, and yet you have to play elites basically to make it worthwhile. So Yeah, I don't know. I wish it would be more rewarding because my ground tune is not really very well equipped for base. So this is now, if you go the other way around, and uh, it looks different. Oh, why can't I attack this thing? It's hiding behind that. It basically looks different, but it's actually the same concept. Like you just have this one very long hallway where you can actually go left and right. Just follow it to the end. And as you recall from last time, hopefully the later one, I'll just go into this one now. You will have the first guy not spawn on the podium and the back, but over here, the far corner of the room. Just run over here, interact with him, and then we can just continue. We don't have a map for this. This one, and you also already see basically how we ended up in this smallish corridor the last time too. So that is what the second room looks like. Basically all identical, just mirrored. Nice planet, I guess. And then you take this final door to get into the central room. You have one of your guys to save behind these things. Okay, come on, stop you spiders. If you run this game on very low CPU graphics, you don't actually see all the units that are far away from you, and that can become a problem. So try to not run on minimum graphics, which I'm doing to maximize FPS for you guys watching this, because my computer doesn't really like me streaming it at high quality for some reason. So this one would have been the other way, as you might recall from last time we did this. I don't know which one we missed. Okay. And this one would be the room where we potted in at the beginning. So now, once again, we go to the right and go directly to the central room and kill the end boss of it. Okay. Going over here. Targeting the big guy, using our stuff, and shooting off the AoE thing. I am pretty late on this as already everything is that, but that's just how it would look like. Okay, so that's the other way that you basically run. You always want to do either of the two ways. Basically, when you spawn in this room over here, you will spawn right here. And you want to go either this way or the way in the back on the left here, because both of them converge onto the central room. The one that is in the front there ends over here at this door, and the one that is in the back ends on this door. So you basically minimize the runway for everyone when you do this strategy. Okay, I wasted at least $20 to $40 trying to get that chip. I basically limit myself getting 4 of those R&D packages, and I don't get chips out of it, so yeah. I wasted $10, I guess. I bought it for EC, but yeah. I am on a very limited income. I just do not have the money to get Zen. That is alright, I guess. You don't need to pay them. Why is there no light in this cube? Because it's fancy and dark and intimidating and fearsome. I don't know. I have no idea why there's no light, to be honest. I'm still trying to get EC to buy an Azteca. I have stuff on the exchange, but people don't like it. Yeah, that's alright. I know your feeling there. It's sort of difficult, and the Azteca is quite good, so honest opinion, you probably don't want to get the Gemidor strike ship. It's not that good. It's okay, it's possibly okay or good for PvP, but in PvE you neither need the trade nor the ship. So I thought about getting one, just because Smirk asked me to do so yesterday. But but I couldn't bring myself to, you know, spending those 500 million EC on it. Best free way I've come across is just making lots of tunes from the lithium. Yeah, well, that is basically what everyone does, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, that's basically it for ground elites. That is all there are. You do have any more questions, you might just rewatch the video because I think we covered most of it. The equipment thing and the traits and all that we can do at another point, but this is basically just the mission guide for this, okay? So the concept of what you have to do. And yeah, that is all of them. Okay, so as this turned into quite a long stream, I want to do or get out of the way the equipment things that we wanted to talk about. So let me on to monitor capture, which hopefully works, and we will find out momentarily. Okay, this should have worked. Awesome. Amazing. We're getting better with this every single time. So let me find the in-game mail. Okay. We first have the ST Academy Skill Planner of Maytalk. Okay, this is what it looks like. Yeah, now it's frozen. It's true. Is only the video frozen, or... That is interesting.